To all my Biafran brothers and sisters and all my African brothers and sisters across the world. I'm just let the live build up. When you come on this live, please share this live. Coming to chop it up with y'all real quick on some recent topics. That's going on in the world. Decided to come outside and chop it up with y'all today on this beautiful day here in Virginia. First of all, let me give my shout outs to Radio Biafra, Radio Biafra Middle East for the dope, powerful interview. If you haven't checked out the interview I did with Radio Biafra, the link is in this description. The full interview is in this description link of this live video. It's on YouTube. It's on SoundCloud. And I just want to give a shout out to Mazi, Ike Chukwu, or that goes by Mike Obi Biafra also on Facebook. If you ain't following him already, go follow him. I just want to give a shout out to him for the dope interview, the powerful interview, and shout out to Biafra Land and all the people who tuned in to the interview. I hope the interview, was a good interview that clarified a lot of things from where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to do here in the United States of America and in Virginia, aka Igbo land of America. It was powerful, man. Finally got to, talk to the people in Biafra land. Finally got to talk to the Biafrans all across the world. It was a beautiful experience. It's an experience that I will never, ever forget. And I hope that it'll be, one of many to come. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, man, this page right here is a community page. I'm trying to unify the link between New Africans, misnomered African Americans, and our Biafran brothers and sisters across the globe, because this is a global fight. It's a global mission to free our people all across the globe, man. And as I always do, like I told you, man, I'm going to be doing at least 3, so I'm going to try to do at least 2 to 3 lives a month. You see what I'm saying? To talk about any topic across the world, dealing with our people and dealing with our struggles across, New Africa land to Biafra land and in between. You feel me? Shout out to, Radio Biafra Middle East and all the Biafrans that's living in the Middle East right now that tuned into the broadcast also, man. I seen all y'all shout outs. Salute, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate all that love and I appreciate all the support, man. And before I get into these topics, man, also the link in the description box. If you're not following my YouTube page, you should follow my YouTube page, because I post a lot of dope content on my YouTube page. So if all my Biafran brothers and sisters, if you haven't followed my YouTube page yet, please go subscribe my YouTube page. I'm trying to open up all these platforms. I'm on Instagram at Haki Shakur. I'm on Twitter, Haki K Shakur. I'm on all platforms. So all my Biafran brothers and sisters, follow me on all my platforms. You feel me? Yeah, more to come is all I can say, man. More to come, and trying to link this chain. And try to link our brothers and sisters and to educate. Because the first step of liberation is educating ourselves and educating each other about each other. You see what I'm saying? We have to get familiar with each other and get familiar with each other's struggles. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to try to use my platform and my voice to unify that chain. Because we all blood. Like they say, one blood, one family, one nation. That's who we are as a people globally. African people globally, New African people, Biafran people. You feel me? Let me go ahead and hop into these topics real quick, because I don't want to take up too much time. I like to do, world news and what's going on internationally and nationally. That's one of the things we have to do. We have to talk about what's going on in this world so we can understand what's going on in each other's world, each other's material world. So today, I'm going to start off. Many of y'all seen me post yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Saturday. Here in North America. The genocide, the murder, the police terrorism continues here in North America on New African black people, misnomered African American people. The other day, a beautiful, beautiful black sister has become the latest victim of police terrorism here in the United States of America. Fort Worth, Texas. If you haven't read up on this story yet, I'm pretty sure you have seen it. I'm pretty sure it has been. I'm pretty sure it has gone global by now. The murder of this beautiful black new African sister, who was in her home in Fort Worth, Texas. A neighbor called the police, which is good, because this is going to bring me to my point on this first topic that I want people to understand, is that this neighbor, he's black also. One of her black neighbors called the police for a wellness check. A wellness check is simply, the police come to your home and they're trying to see if the resident that's living in the residence is okay. Because they could be suffering from a health issue. They could be suffering from an intruder. Somebody could be done intruded into the household, into the residence, made their way into the residence. So a wellness check is just to check on the residents to make sure that person's life is not in danger. So this brother, her neighbor, called the police because he seen her front door open at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's something to be worried about. It's a beautiful thing to see that our neighbors do care about our well-being. You feel me? That's dope. And our safety. That's dope. So the police gets to this beautiful black sister house. The sister is in the house playing video games with her nephew. Her name is Atatiana Jefferson. So you can Google her name and Google what happened to this beautiful sister Saturday morning. Her name is I hope I'm saying it right. Atatiana Jefferson of Fort Worth, Texas. 28-year-old beautiful sister who didn't get a chance to live her life. Cut down by racist police and racist policing policies Saturday. This beautiful sister was at home playing video games with her 8-year-old nephew. The police come. Bad policing from the jump. Why didn't the police knock on her front door? This is a wellness check, people. You see what I'm saying? This is not a shootout. The police wasn't supposed to come to this residence ready to shoot. So that lets you know off top it was bad policing and racist policing from the jump. You see what I'm saying? Because why did this racist police officer come to her house with his gun out ready to kill? You see what I'm saying? This goes on in all new African black communities. Our lives are not valuable to the racist police structure of America, man. Black lives are not valuable to the police law enforcement agencies in America, man. Why did this racist white cop come to her residence ready to kill? You see what I'm saying? When all they were called there is for a wellness check to see if this sister was okay, to make sure it wasn't an intruder in her house. So this racist white policeman makes his way around the house. He goes on the side of her house. He sees this beautiful black sister in the house through her bathroom window. So he tells her to put her hands up. Freeze, put your hands up. Let me see your hands. And he instantly opens fire on this beautiful black sister, man. Murdering her in cold blood. And let me remind you, this is a week later after another racist white police officer was found guilty in Dallas, Texas, for murdering another new African brother in his own house. Botham Jean, who was murdered inside his house by the racist police of Texas. Now, we all know Texas is a racist state. It was a southern state. It was a slavery state. You feel me? So we already know how their police departments operate. They're racist. They're not interested in protecting new African black people in Texas and all across the United States of America. They're not interested. And the reason why I'm making this point, because I'm trying to make this point to my African brothers and sisters globally. my Biafran brothers and sisters globally, to make you understand that we're being genocided too. We're still being murdered at the highest rate by this power structure in this government every day by their law enforcement agencies. And we need y'all. We need African brothers and sisters, Biafran brothers and sisters across the world to start to speak up for what's going on with our people, your brothers and sisters here in North America that's being murdered every day by these racist police departments in America. Every day. This beautiful sister was in her own home, murdered. 28 years old, young, man. Didn't even get to live her life, period. Gunned down. And this just brings me to my point, man. If black communities in North America would start to go back to what we used to do best, is governing our own communities, these things would not take place, man. We need to stop calling the police when it's involving our brothers and sisters who is in trouble or may be in trouble. You see what I'm saying? No, we need to get back to being a community structure, a community that needs to restore the neighbor back into the hood, man. Listen to what I'm saying. We have to go back to restoring the neighbor into the hood. We have to get back to being neighbors. We have to get back into the neighbor mentality, man. We have to take care of each other. We must protect each other, man. It's, man, at all costs, by any means necessary, we must take care of our own communities, man. So we can, this is the only way you can combat police terrorism, is being a neighborhood, being a community that takes care of each other, man. Stop calling the police when it's your brothers and sisters that's in trouble in your community, man. Stop doing that, man. Because we know the racist police departments are not coming to protect new African people. They are not coming to protect them. They don't care about new African lives. They don't care about black lives. They care about the property. You see what I'm saying? Racist Gestapo pigs, racist police departments in America do not care about new African communities. They are only concerned about the property, man. They're coming to protect the property, not the people who live there, man. Now, they may do that for European American communities. They're coming to protect the European Americans in their communities, but new African black communities and you know, what we call housing projects and low-income communities, they're black and brown, new African and Chicano. They're not coming to protect the lives in those communities. They're coming to protect the property because they don't even see you as a human. They don't even see you as a citizen of the United States of America. They don't see you as a human. They're not coming to protect you. So guess what? We know who we are. We have to get back to that family element of community. We have to get back to that tribal way of community, man. We have to take care of ourselves. Now, if you see another new African brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, who's in trouble, whose household might be in trouble, or their household is looking suspicious, something might be going on with their household, you take your ass over there. You take your ass over there and check on your brother and sister, man. How hard is that, man? Stop treating your neighbors, stop treating your community as strangers, man. So you can save the lives of your brothers and sisters in your community. You seeing your people getting gunned down by police every day, and it's getting even worse because they coming in your own house and killing you in your house. They're killing you in your own house. And I seen this. I posted it on Instagram. I seen this meme today where it says, "Do not call the police to check on black people. Call a family member. Call a friend. Gather neighbors within the community. Go check for yourself. Be creative." I repeat, do not call the police to check on black people. This is the drastic measures we have to take now. Stop calling the police for your brothers and sisters, man. And go check on your brothers and sisters yourself. Go, and if you don't want to go by yourself, call up a family member, Call up some neighbors in your community. This is the first thing we got to get back to. Get to know your neighbors, man. We have to get out of this sick, foreign, colonialized mentality of not getting along with your neighbors, man, and getting to know your neighbors. You have to get to know your neighbors, man. Your neighbors is your family. That's your extended family. Community is extended family. See, look. These racist police departments are getting away with this shit because they see new African black communities are not together. They see you as people who don't even like yourselves. So they're going to take advantage of that to continue the genocide, the 400-year genocide on your people, man. This is warfare, man. It seems like black people, new African people in America are the only people who don't seem to understand that you're in a war. You've been in a war ever since they kidnapped your ancestors from the goddamn continent of Africa. You are in a goddamn war, man. You are in a war for self-preservation, man. You are in a war of survival of your people, man. It's already stated that we're starting to begin and we're starting to look like the minority of the population here in the United States of America, man. And even though I don't believe in the stats that we're 13% of the population, I don't believe in that. We got higher numbers than that because of the way we procreate. It's more than the 13% of new Africans in America. I give it around 60 million new Africans live here in America, man. You feel me? It's about a good 60 million new Africans in America, man. And so we have to get back to strict community organizing, man. We have to get back to strict policing and patrolling. We have to get back to patrolling our communities, man. It's as simple as that, man. Our elders, our freedom fighters have left the blueprint on what we're supposed to be doing in our communities, man. We're supposed to be policing ourselves, community patrolling, man. We need community patrols, man. This is the only way you can combat police terrorism, man. And I hate to go to this point, but it's getting to that point because, like I'm saying, we're in a war. We're in a war, people. It's looking like we're going to have to go back to what our elders and freedom fighters in the Black Liberation Army was doing in the 70s and the 80s, man. We're going to have to start to take drastic self-defense measures, man. We're going to have to get on and go. Hey, it's just like they say in sports, man. What do they do in sports and basketball, football, soccer, man? Sometimes your best defense is your offense. Sometimes your best defense is your offense, man. We're going to have to get out here and get into these streets, man, and get on some Black Liberation Army shit right now, man. Or they're going to keep they're killing your women, man. Once they start killing your women, they're killing your nation. They're killing your lifeline, people. They're killing new African women in America every day. They're killing them in their own households, man. Hey, man, let me tell you something. And I hate to say this like this, man. But new African brothers and sisters, specifically new African brothers, black brothers in America, man, you got to look in the mirror, man. We're letting our sisters down, man. We're letting our kids down at this point, man. We're letting our kids get murdered, man. We're letting our women get murdered by racist pigs, man. Our duty is to protect the one who bears the seeds of our nation, man, get murdered by racist police officers, man. There's no way this sister should have lost her life that night, man. Even though her neighbor was doing a good deed because he was worrying about his next door neighbor. He was worrying about his sister, man. But he made the ultimate mistake by calling those racist pigs to that lady's residence, man. Now his sister's gone. 28 years old. Life gone. Stop calling the police stop calling the police, you know what I'm saying, for our neighbors, man. And let's get back to being neighbors. That's the solution, man. All this shit is a science. This is a science, man. The conditions is a science. You got to understand the conditions, man, in your communities, man. Socially. This is scientific socially, man. Socialism. This is scientific, man. This is a science. We must study the science, and we must come up with the solutions to fix the conditions and the attacks on our people in our communities, man. We must. I like this Biafran brother told me yesterday on Twitter, man. He said, "Damn, man." He said it looked like blacks in America becoming an endangered species, man. I said, "Yeah. Black people and New African people have been an endangered species ever since we came off them boats, man, in chains. Yeah, we are an endangered species, man. Because this establishment is making it emphasis to exterminate and ethnic cleanse New African black people out of the United States of America, man. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop no time soon. It's not going to stop no time soon, people. They're going to continue to murder us until we go on the offense. We must go on the offense, man. Self-defense is a human right. Policing your community is a human right. Community patrolling is a human right. Protecting your black women and seeds is a human right. So, man, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it, man. We got, because, you know, how it doesn't make a difference how many videos we keep making. We keep making videos. We keep throwing press conferences. We keep doing, all we doing is talking, people. This talking shit is over. We way past talking, man. We've been past talking. There's no way we shouldn't be talking at all about what we should be doing to protect our sisters, man. We way past talking. This establishment is on the offense, and they're murdering us every day in America, man. We way past this talking, man. Way past this talking, man. So, like I said, man, if you've seen the story, if you don't know who the sister name is, her name is Atatiana Jefferson. Please spread the message. Spread the word about this sister being murdered, because you know how this system is. You know how the judicial system is. This pig might F around and get off. This cop might F around and get off, man. So we got to spread the awareness on this sister's life and keep this sister memory afloat, and spread the awareness that we must start to, man, we got to control our communities, man. We're not controlling our communities, man. It's chess. It's chess, people. We're not controlling the chessboard on our struggle right now, man. We're not controlling the chessboard. We're being eliminated, man. We're being eliminated right now, man. Let me move on to my next subject, man, because I don't want to make this live too long, man. Moving on to the next subject. The next subject I want to talk about right now is what's going on in Syria. I don't know how many of y'all have been seeing what's going on in Syria right now, but the other day, last week, the country of Turkey decided to do what they always wanted to do. If you don't know the history of Kurdistan, if you don't know the history of the Kurds and what's going on in Syria, if you don't know the history of that, y'all need to go do your research on this, man, because you need to be politically educated what's going on in the world, because what goes on in the world affects what's going on to other oppressed people in the world. What's going on in Kurdistan is a jungle, man. It's getting to an all-time low what's going on in Kurdistan. And yes, I do stand with the Kurdistan people's rights for self-determination, nationhood, and statehood. Now, it's a difference, though. Let me clarify the difference. Kurdistanians. If you don't know nothing about this ethnic group, I suggest you do your research, because at the end of the day, the Kurdistans are like if not the number one, they're like the number two most populated ethnic group in the Middle East, man. You have Kurds in Iraq. You have Kurds in Turkey. You have Kurds in Syria. You have Kurds all through the Middle East. And the Kurdistan people are one of the oldest people in that region, if not the oldest people in that region, who doesn't have a nation state. They don't have a nation state. Just like the Palestinians and other ethnic groups in that region, they do not have a nation state yet. They have been fighting for a nation state probably ever since the Ottoman Empire separated. Ever since the Ottoman Empire was taken down by the European imperialists and the European nations. When the Ottoman Empire got taken out. This is what dispersed the Kurdistan people all through those regions and what you know today as Iraq, Iran, Syria, Israel, all these places in the Middle East, Turkey, the Caucasus area, the Caucasus Mountains, the Caucasus region. And the reason why I want to talk about this is the fact that I want my Biafran brothers and sisters and all my African brothers and sisters across the globe to understand U.S. imperialism, what the United States does in the Middle East and other regions across the across the world globally. Look, man, we black people, African people have to understand, man. You cannot trust Europeans, man. You cannot trust European nations. And the European nations that I'm speaking of is the United States of America, the Britain, France. The three-headed monster is what I call them. The three-headed monster. The United States of America, Britain, and France. You cannot trust these countries when it comes to international politics and international struggle. You cannot trust them, man. And I'm glad. I'm not glad that it's happening to the Kurd people, but this is a wake-up call for all African people to pay attention to what you cannot trust the United States of America, you cannot trust Britain, and you cannot trust France. You see how the United States of America just abandoned the Kurdistan people, right? They just abandoned these people. These people are being ethnic cleansed. Turkey is wiping the Kurds off the map in northern Syria right now. They are killing innocent civilians, killing innocent kids, women, men, and children in Syria, in northern Syria right now. The Kurds are being exterminated right now. Donald Trump, the other day, pulled out 1,000 United States troops out of northern Syria. And let me remind you, this shows you evidence of how neoliberalism is the worstest political unit to trust. This all started with Obama. I'm not going to blame all this on Donald Trump. This came from the neoliberals, man. The neoliberals like Obama, Hillary Clinton, and the democratic regimes of the United States of America have turned the Middle East into a hell zone. It is a miserable third world hell zone in the Middle East right now, man. Look what Obama, Hillary Clinton, and all these regimes done to the Middle East right now, man. They turned their back on the Kurdistan people, man. Look what they did to Libya. Look what they doing to Syria right now. And this is the major point that I want people to see far as African people and Biafran brothers and sisters. What you need to see when y'all, don't get me wrong, I understand y'all strategy when y'all saying that we need the United States of America, we need Israel to help us free Biafra. No, we don't. No, we don't. Because you want to know why? Take the example on what's going on in Kurdistan in northern Syria right now. Look how the United States of America abandoned those poor people, man. Straight up abandon these poor people, man. They're over 100 to 200,000 Kurds have been displaced in less than a week in northern Syria, man. Got these people running and scattering for their lives back into southern Syria, where they're not even being taken care of in southern Syria by the Assad regime, the Russian, Iran-backed Assad regime. These people are being genocided just like Biafrans being genocided by the Nigerian government and the Fulani herdsmen right now, and Boko Haram right now. Part of this jihadist imperialism that's financed and backed by European imperialism. See, this is the thing y'all gotta understand, people. European U.S. imperialism is not your friend, people. They are not your friends, man. And I'm talking about both sides of the coin. It ain't just the Democrats, it's the Republicans too. You can't trust Republicans or Democrats, man. because they are all a part of the European power structure, the European global supremacist elitists across the globe that's causing all this havoc, death, conquering all across the world, man. You cannot trust the Democrats or the Republicans. Look what Donald Trump just did. Donald Trump regime and Donald Trump just turned their whole back on the Kurdistan people, who were their allies. This is the crazy thing about it. Who were their allies? When Donald Trump became president, this is the thing you got to understand. When Donald Trump became president, and even before Donald Trump became president, when Obama was a president, he used the Kurds. He used the Kurdish freedom fighters to eliminate ISIS in northern Syria. They used the Kurdistan freedom fighters to eliminate and incarcerate and lock up ISIS jihadists in that region, man. See how the United States of America and these Europeans like NATO use you and then throw you to the wolves? This is what they're doing to the Kurdistan people right now. They just threw these people to the wolves, man. After the Kurds helped the United States of America eliminate ISIS in that region, man. And I'm afraid to say this to Biafran brothers and sisters. The United States of America and Israel will do you the same way. They will do Biafrans the same way. They will use you and then throw you to the wolves. They throwing you to the wolves right now because look what happened in Nigeria the other day, man. Look what happened in Nigeria the other day. The Fulani herdsmen are at it again, man. The Fulani herdsmen are in the Plateau Middle Belt region right now, kidnapping young little girls the other day, man. And killing Christians. And killing Christian ethnic groups in the Middle Belt Plateau in Nigeria right now. They just killed a brother. They just killed a Christian brother on the highway yesterday in Nigeria, man. Stomped him out, beat him to death, stoned him to death in the middle of the highway in Nigeria right now. Fulani herdsmen. See, the only reason why I'm bringing up the Kurdistan thing is because all this is linked, people. All this is a part of global jihadists, extremists, and a part of European imperialism that facilitates the jihadist terrorism in that region, man. This is what y'all got to understand. European imperialism facilitates Islamic extremism in that region. They have always did it, man. Playing ethnic groups against ethnic groups in that region. This is what they do, people. This is what the United States of America, Israel, France, Britain, this is what they do, people. They use ethnic groups against ethnic groups to ethnic cleanse them. When they no longer need them, they kick them to the curb and let them get jihaded and murdered and genocide by Islamic movements, Islamic extremist movements. And what I'm basically saying is that this is the point we got to understand, that these people that's kidnapping innocent girls in Nigeria and killing innocent ethnic groups in Nigeria that claim to be Muslim, that claim to be doing it in the name of Islam, we must understand these people are not real Muslims. They're not real followers of Islam. They are not real Muslims, man. That's not the Muslim faith, man. The Muslim faith doesn't how can I say, support murder of other peoples, man. All religions, man. You see what I'm saying? And this is another thing that we got to understand, man. To me, and this is my personal opinion, is that I don't feel like no nation state should be built on religious beliefs, man. Or religious, you know what I'm saying, doctrine. No nation and state should be built on religious doctrine. There shouldn't be no Islamic state. There should not be no Jewish state. Why? Because if you think about what a nation is and what a republic is, go look at the definition and Google what a republic and a nation state supposed to stand for. A republic and a nation state is built on the freedom of all people, despite religious beliefs. How can you? All right, let me get to this point. Let me get to this point. How can you set up a nation state How can you set up a nation state when a nation state is supposed to respect the rights of all people despite religious beliefs, man? Nation and state, nationhood is not predicated on religious belief and religious rhetoric. Nations are supposed to be for the freedom of all people who are there to live under that nation. Facts. This is why so much conflict, murder, and death is going on in the third world regions of the Middle East, Africa, and all across the world, because people keep trying to put their religious beliefs and found their nationhood, statehood on religious rhetoric. You see what I'm saying? I believe religious rhetoric is causing more death and murder, and genocide than anything else on this planet, man. Because people are taking these religions and using them for personal political beliefs. This is facts. Religious rhetoric should be separated from politics. This is facts, man. Because when you set up that nation, right? When you set your nation up, you got people that's a part of your nation that they all have different faiths and they all have different beliefs. Just like Biafra. Everybody in Biafra ain't Jewish. Everybody in Biafra don't believe in the Judaism, man. Everybody in Biafra ain't Jews, man. You got Biafrans that still believe in their indigenous traditions, that believe in Ominala, that believe in Odinani. So what we gonna do about them? Aren't they welcome into Biafra too? Say, for instance, if you got Biafrans who believe in Islam, I'm pretty sure there are Igbo people who believe in Islam. There are Igbo people that are Muslims. I seen it. So aren't they invited into your nation too? You see what I'm saying? So we got it. So that's why I'm saying all this shit is a science. We got to dissect all this shit. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, all freedom-loving people are supposed to be fighting for the best interest in the freedom of their nation. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is that you cannot trust U.S. imperialism. You cannot trust British imperialism. You can't trust these people. Look what they're doing to the Kurds. Look what's happening to the Kurdistan people right now in the Middle East, man. I know y'all can relate. I know Biafrans can relate because y'all getting genocided by Islamic extremists also. The Fulani herdsmen ain't nothing but the Islamic extremists that's coming in there from Turkey and exterminating these people right now, man. Exterminating the Kurds, man. And check it out. Kurdistan and the Catalonian people, they all supported Biafran referendum. I seen Kurds and I seen Catalonians in Europe protesting on the behalf of Biafran's referendum. Just like Biafrans were standing in solidarity for the Catalonians and the Kurds for a referendum. So we got to be a voice for the Kurdistan people, man. Look how the United States of America abandoned the Kurds like that, man. Now the Kurds have to run to the Russian, Iran-backed Assad regime, who's killing his own people. Well, so-called, let me take that back, so-called, supposed to be genociding his own people in Syria. So now they got to go make a deal with another devil. So what I'm saying to you is this, man. This is what I'm saying. When we're agitating and struggling for black liberation and liberation of our African nations like Biafra, New Africa, and all these nations that's trying to get independence and trying to set up a nation state, we got to watch how we strategize and how we move when we're trying to deal with the United States of America, Britain, France, and even Israel. You might not want to hear it, but you got to watch how you walk with Israel. You must watch how you deal with European nations, because these people will leave black people abandoned. They will leave oppressed people abandoned to be slaughtered by extremist groups and terrorist groups across this planet. Just like the United States government is allowing black people, new African people, to be murdered by police departments all across America every day, 365 days a year, 24/7 hours a day, man. Just like think about it, Biafrans. Has the United States of America stopped your genocide in Nigeria? Has the United States of America stopped the Fulani herdsmen from murdering ethnic groups in the Middle Belt, the Plateau, and Biafra land? Has the United States of America stopped the genocide of Nigeria on Biafran people? Answer that question. Tell me today. Has Britain, has Israel, has France, has any of these European nations stopped the genocide on Igbo people yet? Answer that question. And the prime thing that you should pay attention to, Biafran brothers and sisters and African brothers and sisters in the African diaspora and globally, has the United States of America stopped the genocide on new Africans and black people, misnomer African Americans in America? Why are black people still being murdered by their own government, their own police departments? Ask yourself that question. We have to understand as African people globally that Europeans do not value African lives. African lives matter, man. But African lives don't matter to European nations. Just like the United Nations, NATO, have they stopped the genocide on Igbo, Biafran, and other ethnic groups in Nigeria? Have they stopped the genocide yet? Come on, Biafran people. Answer the question. Has the United States, Britain, France, the United Nations, NATO, Israel, have they stopped the Fulani herdsmen and the Islamic jihadist mission on your people yet? Have they stopped it? It's up to us, people. We are our own liberators. We are our own liberators, people. New Africans in the diaspora, African globally, we must unify. We must unify for ourselves, man. This is the only way we will stop the genocide on each other's peoples, man, on every continent across the world. The Europeans will not stop us from being genocided, man. They will not stop it. They will not stop it, man. This is why you always see me talking about, this is why you always see me updating and talking about international politics and what's going on internationally, what's going on globally. The same thing is going on globally all across the world to oppress people, man. And it's being facilitated by the same oppressors. The same global power system machine. Elitists. The monster. The monster is United States of America. The monster is Britain. The monster is France. The monster is Saudi Arabia. The monsters in the world. And they will continue to be the monsters in the world because it benefits their people. It benefits their nations. It don't benefit Biafra. It don't benefit New Africa. It don't benefit Aztalan. It don't benefit Catalonia. It doesn't benefit Kurdistan. It doesn't benefit Southern Cameroon, aka Amazonia. It doesn't benefit the Congo. It doesn't benefit Puerto Rico. It doesn't benefit Haiti. It doesn't benefit the West Sahara, the Sahrawi people. Look at all the oppressed nations and independence movements that are trying to fight to get free, man. We all must unify. The oppressed nations. All the oppressed nations must unify. This is how we stop the Islamic jihadist extremists, the global extremists, the global terrorist nations that are committing genocide on our people globally. It takes all of us, man. We must agitate for all of our people, man. We must be the voices for all our people. And I hate that, y'all brothers and sisters got to understand, man. I'm with every strategy on the board to get oppressed people free, to get Biafra free, to get New Africa free. I'm for every strategy across the board, even when negotiating and having to deal with European nations. But we must always understand our material realm and our material struggle scientifically and common sensely to know that we can't trust these people. We can't trust the United Nations. We can't trust the United States. We can't trust Britain. We can't trust France. We can't trust Israel. We gotta trust Africa. We gotta trust Africa. Africa is our nation. Africa is our throne. Africa is our background. Africa is our root. We must free Africa first, man. We must remove all puppet movements, all puppet leaders out of Africa. Africa is our background. We need an African military. We need an African global military that will come to the defense of all African people that's being oppressed, slaughtered across the globe. You see what I'm saying? We need Africa needs a African. It's what Kwame Nkrumah preached to his death, man. Where's the United States of Africa? We need a United States of Africa with a United States of Africa military that's going to defend and protect African people globally. Biafra must get free. New Africa must get free, man. These will be the examples in the world. These will be the examples in the world. We gotta free Africa. Or we're going to end up like those Kurdistan people, man. We're going to end up like the Kurds all across the world, man. I keep trying to tell y'all, man, pay attention to what's going on in the global news, man. Man, it's uprisings going on all across the globe, man. You got uprisings in Hong Kong. You got uprisings in West Pupaya. A lot of people don't even talk about what's going on in West Pupaya. The West Pupaya people are being genocided every day for self-determination and nationhood. West Pupaya. Go research West Pupaya. Another Biafra. Another New Africa is the West Pupaya people fighting for self-determination, nationhood, man. Independence. Being genocided. Trust me, we have way more things in common. We have a struggle that's way more in common. Because we all are trying to fight to get our own nations free, man. So this is why we must pay attention to what the United States of America does, what Britain does, what France does, what NATO does, and what the United Nations does in our lands across the world, man. We can't trust these people, man. We cannot trust them. We cannot trust them. We can't trust them, man. We must free Africa. Period. And then, you know, this is the crazy thing about it all is this is that there's nations in America. You have the Chicano nation. You have the native indigenous nations. But guess what, man? None of these nations have sovereignty. None of these nations have independence. You have the New African nation who's been struggling here for 400 years to set up their own nation on this land, man. But we seem to tend to think that we're going to change a system that we cannot change. The United States of America is a disease in the world. It's a monster in the world that we cannot change. The system of the United States cannot be changed. It has to be destroyed. It has to be revolutionized. It has to be destroyed. And I'm not talking about continuing the United States of America. I'm done with the United States of America. The United States of America has not done nothing for new African black people in America for 400 years. Nothing. They haven't paid reparations. They haven't fixed our conditions. They haven't stopped the murder. They haven't stopped the genocide on my people. So why would I try to fix something and try to keep something going that doesn't benefit our people at all? At all. No, we need our own nation, period. Or we need to go back home. I see all these indigenous people. I see all these Moors. I see all these Aborigines people who want to claim the United States lands. Hey, I don't got nothing against that, man. I ain't got nothing against that. But at the same time, Are you fighting for this land? Are you fighting for it? Because I don't see you fighting for it. Because brothers and sisters being murdered every day by police. I don't see you fighting for it. I don't see you fighting for it. But guess what? The Republic of New Africa, New African freedom fighters have been murdered, incarcerated. The Black Liberation Army was fighting back in the 1970s, the 1980s, fighting back against this government, using armed resistance. So nobody can talk about my elders. You can't talk about my family. You can't talk about my nation. My nation been fighting back ever since we came off those ships. And they are doing 40 to 50 years behind bars right now. New African freedom fighters have paid the ultimate price to go on the offense to eliminate this genocide on our people. You can't talk about my nation. My nation's still fighting. Still fighting. Just like we still fighting to get our freedom fighters out of prison. But we have to come to the reality, man. We have to come to the reality that we might have to go, to be honest, ain't no might in it. We have to go back home. It's like my comrades always said, homeland or death, man. Homeland or death, man. That's what it's coming to. Homeland or death, man. What you gonna do? You gonna continue to let your people get genocided? What you gonna do? You gonna end up like the Kurds over there in the Middle East? You gonna end up like my Biafran brothers and sisters in Nigeria getting murdered every day by their government? Or are we gonna continue to be the people that continue to get murdered by the United States of America law enforcement agencies? What we gonna do, people? People know where I stand, man. They know where I stand. I'm continuing on the legacy of my freedom fighters, man. Nationhood or death, man. That's the only solution. New African nationalism is the only solution. What Malcolm X went to the grave for is the only solution. What Marcus Garvey went to the grave for is the only solution. What Noble Drew Ali went to the grave for is the only solution. What the indigenous peoples went to the graves for and sacrificed all their nations for is the only solution. Nationhood, separation, period, from your oppressor. That's the only solution. What the Maroons fought for in this country is the only solution. What Nat Turner, Gabriel Prosser, Denmark Vesey, Charles Desalon, Mingo, Ann Woods, every slave rebellion that took place in this country, what they went to the grave for is the only solution for new African black people in America. Nationhood. I'm going to hop off now. That's all I wanted. I don't want to take up too much more time. That's all I wanted to come to you and speak to you about today, man. Is, like I said, I'm going to be doing this like 2 to 3 times in a month. I'm going to do this I'm going to go live. I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about international politics, national politics, and I'm going to be talking about history is what I do best because, I'm a historian also. So, 3 times out this month, I'm going to be doing international news, what's going on in the news, things of that nature. So ride it out with me, man. I'm going to we got to continue to spread this, you know what I'm saying? We got to spread all this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man. We got to continue to build. It's all about building, man.